mysteries of creation are there. In the sky. Up in the sky. The moon and the planets are there. And new hopes for knowledge and peace are there.
Hello and welcome to your Inner Journey Weather Forecast. Using archetypal astrology to understand themes and energies that might show up in your psychedelic journeys and the psychedelic journeys of your clients this week, the week of December 6th through December 13th. So for this week, let's have a look using Archetypal Explorer at the Venus Pluto conjunction that is beginning this week and that will be with us for quite some time because Venus will be going retrograde soon. So since that energy is going to be with us for so long, I thought that we would begin to explore it here today at depth. So the Venus-Pluto combination can be understood by looking at the myth of the abduction of Persephone by Hades, by Pluto, into the underworld in the Greco-Roman mythology. And so in that myth, it seems as if Pluto is the action principle which takes the beautiful Persephone into the underworld. But actually, when any two archetypes get together, they get wedded and both their characteristics enact upon each other. So in the myth, actually, Aphrodite and Pluto did become wedded in the underworld. And in this Pluto-Venus conjunction, there will be a sense that both archetypes will be acting upon each other. So Pluto acting upon Venus shows up as Pluto wants to reveal the underbelly of whatever archetype it connects with for the sake of burning away the impurities and showing the more deeper, unconditional, purified form of that archetype. And Venus is the archetype of love, beauty, good feelings, pleasure, friendship, art, even money, the things that we value, the things that make us feel a sense of inner harmony. And so when Pluto touches that archetype, we can see the underbelly of those sides of ourselves, the underbelly of what we value, the underbelly of our love and attachments, the underbelly of our sense of superficiality of beauty, for instance, or of commercialism in terms of what we value. And so those are the qualities that we'll be wrestling with during this time as a collective. And a great example of the combination of Venus and Pluto is actually the actress Julia Roberts. So she performed in Sleeping with the Enemy, Money Monster, Runaway Bride, I Love Trouble. All those titles make us think of the different permutations of Venus and Pluto. So like I Love Trouble, love, Venus, trouble, Pluto. Sleeping with the Enemy, it's like the sexual pleasure component of the pleasure principle of Venus brought into a plutonic kind of underworld of sleeping with the enemy. She also starred in Eat, Pray, Love and Pretty Woman. Pretty Woman, she played a prostitute, which is a Venus-Pluto reflection of kind of the sordid underbelly of the sex industry, though she, through an encounter with a client, ends up in a situation of true love. And so that's an example of Pluto burning away the kind of superficiality of the Venusian, coming into a deeper, unconditional reflection of the Venus principle of love. And so also with Eat, Pray, Love, there's a pleasure component there. It's a path of pleasure that this woman embarks upon in order to find true, deep love. So it begins as more of a superficial Venusian path that then through the Plutonic depth goes into true love. So we can see that example with her. How can this show up in Psychedelic Journeys this week? So Psychedelic Journeys, the Venus Pluto combination can show up in Psychedelic Journeys as like orgiastic visions of kind of carnivals of pleasure, that where also there's fire, which end up actually kind of pulling our sense of the pleasure principle down into the underworld so that our relationship to sexuality, for instance, can get purified and transformed. Our relationship to what we value, our priorities around friendship, around beauty, around what we value in terms of money can be deepened. Similarly, though, because the two archetypes are wedded, the Venus principle is actually acting on the Pluto principle too. So we can see examples coming up of seeing the beauty of transformation, the beauty of somebody going into an underworld experience in their own psyche and encountering the depth and the underbelly of their own psyche, and how that is actually an act of unconditional love for oneself. And we can feel that unconditional love, witnessing that in somebody else. So the beauty of the deep Plutonic process. So Venus will soon be going retrograde. So this Venus-Pluto combination will be around for quite some time. In fact, there'll be some hint of it around all the way into March when Venus completes its retrograde cycle. So it's good to start exploring it now, start understanding it, so that when we see kind of what ride we're on individually and how we're engaging with this energy in the collective, we can understand it. We can have an early understanding of it. So I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope it's very deep and involves lots of transmutation of superficiality to unconditional love. So like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week on Your Inner Journey Weather Forecast.